Hey everybody, it's Justin Fraction back again for Total Pro Sports. Only two teams in NFL history have gone 0-16, the 2008 Detroit Lions and the 2017 Cleveland Browns. Yes, it's the ultimate embarrassment that no NFL team wants to endure. But here's the thing, the 2008 Lions and 2017 Browns are not the only NFL teams who really suck. So many NFL teams have come oh so close to joining that exclusive club. Total Pro Sports presents the 10 NFL teams you probably didn't know almost went 0-16. And a huge shout out to MrAwesomeBurgers for suggesting this list. We hope you enjoyed. And if you have any ideas for cool videos, let us know in the comments section down below. You never know, we might pick your idea and give you a shout out. 2011 Indianapolis Colts. The Colts season ended once they learned star quarterback Peyton Manning would be sitting out the entire campaign due to a neck injury. The desperate Colts recruited Kerry Collins to come out of retirement. He got hurt, then Curtis Painter stepped in and played really bad. The Colts lost their first 13 games, and that included an ugly 62-7 loss to the New Orleans Saints. Finally, the putrid Colts beat the Tennessee Titans in Week 15 by 14 points. They barely defeated the Houston Texans in Week 16 and wound up finishing with 2 wins and 14 losses. That landed them the top pick, which they used to draft Andrew Luck. Sometimes there's a nice consolation prize for being horrible. 1989 Dallas Cowboys. 'Twas the first season with Jerry Jones as owner and Jimmy Johnson as head coach. The Cowboys were atrocious, losing their first 8 games of the season. Their lone win came in Week 9 against the Washington Redskins, a 13-3 victory. Dallas would lose out from there, finishing with 1 win and 15 losses. But that's okay. That whole 90s dynasty thing with 3 Super Bowls came along a few years later. 1996 New York Jets. The bulk of the 90s were dark times for New York Jets fans, but 1996 was truly rock bottom. Gang Green landed prized free agent quarterback Neil O'Donnell in free agency. You know, the guy who had just led the Steelers to a Super Bowl 30 appearance. But O'Donnell and the Jets slumped to an 0-6 start. A shoulder injury knocked him out for the season. The Jets did beat the Arizona Cardinals in Week 9, but that was the high point. They finished 1-15 with a horrible minus 175-point differential. At least there was no butt fumble in 1996. 2001 Carolina Panthers. Things got off to a nice start when Carolina beat the Minnesota Vikings in the season opener, but things quickly fell apart from there. The Panthers managed to lose their final 15 games. They lost by 20 or more points 5 times, and only about 16,000 fans showed up for the season finale against the New England Patriots. At least they snatched Julius Peppers with a second pick the following year. John Fox would take over as head coach and led Carolina to a Super Bowl appearance 2 years later. 2016 Cleveland Browns. Let's be real here. The Browns fans have been used to failure for decades. We're sure 2016 didn't bother them that much. The Browns used 3 different quarterbacks throughout the season as usual, and everything that could go wrong just about went wrong. Key players like Josh Gordon were absent, and the Browns just couldn't do anything. But because the Chargers were a bit of a laughingstock as well, they handed the Browns a win in Week 16. Cleveland avoided the winless season, then lost in Week 17 to close out 2016 with a 1-15 record. Hey, at least they won a game. The 2017 Browns couldn't even do that. 1990 New England Patriots. Yes, there was a time when the Patriots were really bad and America actually felt sorry for them. Just how bad was it? The Patriots had a minus 265-point differential, and even ESPN kept poking fun at how bad they were throughout the year. On the bright side, their final game of the season against the New York Giants sold out. Over 40,000 of those ticket buyers were Giants fans who packed Foxborough Stadium. The Patriots just had no drive and no pride that year. You could see the lack of effort from the team throughout the season. Oh, and they finished with 1 win and 15 losses, almost winless. 2000 San Diego Chargers. The Chargers have been utter disappointments throughout the 21st century. When they're good, they're bad, and when they're bad, they're absolutely terrible. 2000 was rock bottom for the Chargers franchise, to say the least. It was the final season in San Diego for Ryan Leaf, who's only the biggest draft bust in NFL history. His attitude and putrid play sunk the Chargers. Oh, and the team compiled just 1,062 rushing yards. That's the fewest ever for a team in a 16-game season. Keep in mind, numerous running backs surpassed that total every year on their own. The Chargers went just 1-15 on the season. On the bright side, they landed future Hall of Fame running back LaDainian Tomlinson with the 5th pick in 2001. 1980 New Orleans Saints. The Saints weren't the greatest of NFL teams during the 80s, to put it mildly. New Orleans went 8-8 the season prior, and optimism was brewing that this team would punch its playoff ticket for the first time in franchise history. But it wasn't meant to be. Fans began calling them the Aints and showed up with paper bags over their heads. New Orleans managed to beat the awful New York Jets by 1 point in Week 16, avoiding the winless season. but they were throttled in Week 17 and finished with a miserable 1-15 record. At least the Aints ain't in the 0-16 club. Get it? That was Alex pun. Alex Ryder, thank you. 2009 St. Louis Rams. For the first time since the greatest show on turf days, the Rams looked to finally have themselves a contender thanks to Jared Goff and Sean McVay. But boy, the late 2000s and early 2010s were embarrassing for the franchise. Rock bottom was in 2009. These Rams straight up sucked. The team averaged a ghastly 10.9 points per game and threw for just 12 touchdown passes all year long. Kicker Josh Brown tossed one of them. Their only win was a 17-10 victory over the Detroit Lions, who were coming off a winless season of their own. They finished 2009 with just one win and had a pathetic minus 261 point differential. And to make matters worse, the Rams kind of wasted their first overall pick in 2010 by drafting Sam Bradford. 2007 Miami Dolphins. Head coach Nick Saban resigned to coach the Alabama Crimson Tide, and it turned out to be really bad for the Dolphins. 3 Dolphins players were arrested before the season started for off-field incidents. They let wide receiver Wes Welker head to the New England Patriots, which turned out to be an embarrassingly bad trade. The Dolphins allowed a whopping 27.3 points per game and used 3 quarterbacks throughout the season. They limped to an 0-13 start before finally beating the Baltimore Ravens in overtime in Week 15. The Dolphins lost their final 2 games and finished 1-15. But hey, at least that one OT victory saved them from the 0-16 club, right? Did we miss any NFL teams that almost went 0-16? Join us in the comment section down below and let us know your thoughts. If you have any ideas for cool videos, let us know down there too. If you like the video, then like the video. We'd really appreciate it. And last but not least, if you're not subscribed yet, now's a great time to do that for more cool videos every single day. We'll see you guys next time as I sweat to death under all these dang lights. Light here, light here, light here, light here, light here.